Welcome back to Superbird Speedway. This is our championship week. Our top 12 from the previous 4 weeks, our top 12 fastest winners are going to be racing on the track today. So round 1 will consist of 3 racers in each race, and it will be first to win 2 will move on to the second round. The second round will be best 2 out of 3. And finally, our championship round will be best 3 out of 5. The cars we have today are the Dodge Concept going against the F-150 and Big Air Bel Air. The Funny Car, Bugatti, and Speedster going against each other. The Sidewinder and the Civic and IROC. And the Ferrari 360 Moderna versus the Stock Car and Golf. Alright, it's time for our first matchup. We have the Dodge Concept, our number 1 seed in Lane 2. Lane 4 is going to be the Ford F-150, our 11th seed, and the 12th seed is our Big Air Bel Air, who snuck into the playoffs last minute. Who's gonna win? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. After each race, each car is gonna shift to the right. If they're in lane 6, then they'll shift to lane 2. But the Big Air Bel Air is in lane 2. The Dodge Concept, who only needs one more win, is in lane 4. And the F-150 is in lane 6. Who's going to win this one? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. And the Dodge Concept sweeps the Big Air Bel Air and the F-150 and will race the winner of our next races, the Aston Martin, who is our number 3 seed, the Bugatti, our number 4 seed, the Bugatti, our number 7 seed, and the Funny Car, our number 8 seed. So, our number 3 seed Aston Martin V12 Speedster is in lane 3. Lane 4 is the Bugatti, and the Funny Car, which I spent a decent amount of money on to get here, is in lane 6. This is a make or break investment. We could have ourselves our potential king or a bust. 3, 2, 1, let's find out. And the Bugatti is pulling off a possible upset. He's up 1-0 against the Aston Martin and the Funny Car. And he's really turning some heads. One more win for him, and he's in. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Apologies, we forgot to press record on the slow-mo cam, but it seems obvious that our 7th seed Bugatti has pulled an upset on the Funny Car and the Aston Martin, our number 3 seed. And he will race the Baby Roof, who is our number 1 seed. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is our lowest seed to make it past the first round within the past 2 years of week 5. But anyways, it's time for the 4th versus 5th versus 6th seed matchup. Here we are for our 3rd matchup of round 1, first to win 2, by the way. We have our Sidewinder, the Civic, and the Camaro. My prediction is that Civic's going to pull the win, and that Civic was the car that really opened things up and took out our 2021 champion, Superbirddiecast, in the 510. So let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. This one was a much closer race, and of course I forgot to press record on the slow-mo camera again, but this time it's on. Our apologies. Let's hope that we don't forget again. And the IROC is turning heads with a 1-0 series lead. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. And the Sidewinder says no to that. And he ties it up with the Camaro. The only car now without a win is the car I predicted to win, the Civic. Can he do it here? Or is it all going to be over? 3, 2, 1. So our final race, we are all tied at 1. We're just going to do the first 3 lanes to give it a little more of a close, not as spaced out advantage for each of the cars. And it's do or die for all of these. Winner plays the winner of the next matchup. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. This time you're not seeing the slow-mo camera because it wasn't on the track in the right spot. Of course it wasn't, so that's why we were showing you slow-mo from the view that we saw. And from what we saw, it was not the Sidewinder that came in front, and it was the Civic that came out on top. And it looked very obvious on the camera. So what causes this is because if a car has a higher profile, it's more likely to trigger the sensor before a car that has a lower bumper. So, with that being said, the Civic will race the winner of our final matchup in round 1. That one was not even close. The Volkswagen tried to make it respectable, but it didn't seem to matter, and the Ferrari took that one easy. Just needs one more, and he's facing the Civic in round 2. 3, 2, 1. And the Ferrari will advance on to our final 4. Our racing scene is over for those 8 cars that were racing that lost. And we are down to our final 4. Our first matchup is going to be the 7 seed Bugatti versus the 1 seed Dodge Concept. For the rest of these matchups, we are going with our typical traditional way of lanes 1 and 6 and 3 and 4 if necessary. The Dodge Concept in lane 1, the Bugatti in lane 6. Who's gonna win? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. And the 7th seed Bugatti comes from behind and takes a 1-0 series lead over the Dodge Concept. We could possibly see an upset, and the Dodge Concept must win or it's all over for him. 3, 2, 1. We have just seen the biggest upset, I think, on Superbird Speedway ever. And the 7th seed Bugatti EB110 moves on to the championship for King of the Hill. And he will race the winner between the Civic and the 360 Moderna. So we have the Civic, our number 5 seed, going up against the number 2 seed Ferrari. And we have a huge race here. 90s week was supposed to bring out our fastest cars, and the Ferrari is the only one left. Will he survive and head to the championship? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. The Ferrari did not even make that close. Looking pretty good for him. If he wins this one, he races the Bugatti best 3 out of 5 for the championship and for the rights to become King of the Hill. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. The Ferrari is the only car left from the 90s that will be on our track for the finals. It's a classic matchup of Italian exotics. The Bugatti versus the Ferrari. Number 2 seed Ferrari versus the number 7 seed Bugatti. Let's see what happens. This is going to be best 3 out of 5 for King of the Hill. Alright, here we are at the track. And the Ferrari is in lane 1. The Bugatti is in lane 6. That Bugatti's been pulling upsets all day. All he needs to do is pull one more off, and he's our champ. But can the Ferrari hold him off? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. And that wasn't too far off. However, the Ferrari gets the first strike of blood and takes a 1-0 lead on the Bugatti, who still has room for error, but not much room left. Let's see what happens in race 2. 3, 2, 1. And the Bugatti says, no sir. And he ties it up. We're tied at 1 between these two. This Bugatti is not backing down and is holding his ground very well, surprisingly. But the Ferrari is in lane 2. The Bugatti's in lane 5. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. all it's going to take is one more win for that Ferrari, and it's all over, and he becomes our king. But the Bugatti, if he can hold him off, we go to a race 5, which will go in lanes 3 and 4 to decide it all. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. I cannot believe how close this is. It's coming down to the wire. A race 5 is needed, and I'm pretty sure the last time that we needed a race 5 to determine our King of the Hill, which was week 5 last season, it was between the Bone Shaker and the GMC Cyclone. Check it out, and it was very close there too. Let's see what happens between these two. Winner of this race becomes King of the Hill. Let's find out what happens. 3, 2, 1. So the Ferrari, our number 2 seed, comes out on top. And we had some very worthy racers today, especially that Bugatti. He gave us a great run for his money, for our money. I was starting to think that Bugatti was going to become king. Although I am very disappointed with that funny car, not giving up the hype that it was expected to for the Speedway here. But I want to thank everybody who's been here through the first 5 weeks of racing. I know I haven't been really consistently posting. I've been applying to universities and I've been very busy with school. I hope to be back consistently really soon. Hope you guys enjoyed. Happy hunting and stay safe. Thank you for joining us for the last 5 weeks of racing. Alright, so one more thing before I go. I gotta make an announcement about the racing. I am no longer going to be doing the racing. And there's going to be a few reasons behind that. So, first of all, I should apologize to our racing fans who've been here since the beginning, watching all of our races. But the reasons behind it are, I'm just not going to have the time to do it anymore with school and everything else. I'm still going to try to produce content for you guys, but I have to make sacrifices in order to do so. And unfortunately, the racing's gonna be one. And why the racing? The racing had to go because of obviously not having time. And also, it was probably one of the least popular things on the channel. The view count hasn't been there for a while. And there just hasn't been the same attention that it was once getting. And I want to thank everybody who has watched the racing since day one. And hopefully, maybe someday I can bring it back. And hopefully if I can bring it back, I'll bring it back at an even higher quality than before. But right now, I just don't got the time to do this. And honestly, for the last few weeks, it's almost felt like an obligation rather than for fun. And I want to do stuff that I know I'll have passion and I can speak from the heart. Not stuff that's I'm doing it just to do it for you guys. I want to do something for you guys that is going to be good, and I want to be able to speak from the heart. I hope you guys understand why I'm not doing the racing anymore, and I hope you can forgive me. But right now, I just can't do the racing, so there's going to be no more racing. But anyways, that's it for me, and that's it for the racing. I hope you guys enjoyed week 5's racing. Happy hunting, and stay safe.